Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about another conversion factor. It's converting from moles into molecules or atoms. So before we said that a mole is a unit of measure. It's like saying if you had a dozen of something. If you had a dozen elephants, that's 12 elephants. If you have a dozen eggs, that's 12 eggs. If we have a mole of something, it is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms, particles, whatever you're looking at of it. So if I said that I had a mole of carbon, that means that I would have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of carbon. So that's how you do that conversion. So if we had more than a mole of carbon, well, then how many atoms would that be? So that's what we're going to practice solving. So here, this question says, how many atoms are in 2.5 moles of copper? So as always, you write down what is given to you. 2.5 moles of copper. We want moles to be on the bottom, and we want atoms to be on the top. So 1 mole of copper is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of copper. So then you would punch that in your calculator. Whenever you're using scientific notation with the exponents, I would use parentheses around your number. So when you get this in your calculator and you sig fig, you would get 1.5 times 10 to the 24th atoms of copper. So 2.5 moles of copper is equal to 1.5 times 10 to the 24th atoms of copper. Okay, so this question says, how many moles are there in 1.00 times 10 to the 5th atoms of sulfur? So you write down what's given. Three magic lines. You want to get rid of atoms of sulfur. And you're going to want moles on the top. 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. You get 1.66 times 10 to the minus 19th moles of sulfur. Okay, this question is a little different. It says how many grams are there in 2.0 times 10 to the 8th molecules of water? So we do not have a conversion factor from grams to molecules. It doesn't exist. But we do have a conversion factor from grams to moles, and then from moles, we can convert into molecules. So let's write down what's given. But instead, we're actually going to go the opposite. We're going to go molecules to moles and then moles into grams. So let's write down what's given. 2.0 times 10 to the 8th molecules. I'm going to put molecules on the bottom. Actually, I need a little bit more space for that. Mole on the top. 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. But we don't want to stay at molecules, so I'm going to put another conversion factor, and I'm going to put moles of water on the bottom, and I'm going to put grams of water on the top. So 1 mole of water is 17.99 grams of water. And then you would plug that into your calculator. You would do 2.0 times 10 to the 8th times 17.99. Okay, so when you put that in your calculator, my suggestion is to multiply the tops the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then divide them separately. So I would get 3.598 times 10 to the 9th, and then I would divide it by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Again, put parentheses around these numbers. And I would get that in 2.0 times 10 to the 8th molecules, that mass is 6.0 times 10 to the minus 15th grams of water. Okay, so you have to be careful what the question's asking you for and what conversion factors you know. So you can convert molecules and atoms into moles, and you convert moles into grams. So here you would just do a two-step conversion factor to solve.